Everybody, welcome to my video. Today's video is going to be a special one because it's about my house. 16 years ago, I drove into this driveway with my mother and my stepsister to buy this house. And this is the view that I saw. So beautiful. This is a very special house, and I will tell you more about that as I take you through it. When I first stepped into this house, this is the view that I saw. That beautiful, gorgeous fireplace. And that bar. I just love bars. That way I don't have to put a table out in the middle of the floor. And those two big windows overlooking that awesome half-an-acre backyard, which I'll show you here in a little bit. This house seems to have a welcome sign on the top of it because everybody wants to move in to it with me. As beautiful and as how peaceful this house is, or as just say as peaceful as this house is and beautiful, it can also be a very spooky house. This house is haunted. I have a few ghosts here. One is of the original owner, and the others, I believe, are from past residents. This used to be a care facility, like an old folks home, rest home, and so it's some of the people that just didn't want to leave. They're nice spirits. They don't bother me. This is not the first haunted house I've lived in my life. I'm going to take you now and show you the rest of this house. I want to show you this kitchen real fast. This was all redone. The original kitchen was white cabinets and a pink tile. My stepfather just hated it. This kitchen was remodeled about, 5 years ago. And right there in the middle chair, my daughter saw a spirit of a woman that seemed to be dressed in old time clothing. It might have been the original owner of this house. I'm not too sure. This is the view out of my kitchen window. I used to watch the kids play in the backyard for hours. Also, there are spirits that walk the back fence of this yard. My daughter has seen them as well. This is the view of my hallway. About 4 to 5 years ago, I saw a 6-foot shadow figure walking down the hallway right into the side of my fireplace. You can imagine the look on my face. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was surprised, and I'm used to seeing spirits. This house has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. This bedroom was my daughter's bedroom, and she shared it with a female spirit that was very depressed. My daughter was locked out of this room the first week that we were here. My daughter left this room to go talk to my foster daughter, left her bedroom door open, and had her closet door closed. When she came back to get into her room, her bedroom door was locked, shut and locked. And when we finally were able to break into this room with a butter knife, her closet door was wide open. Very, very spooky. My daughter was constantly harassed in this room by that female spirit, who would start out as a black blob over there by the dresser and slowly creep out towards her bed at night when she was trying to sleep. That was really a difficult time for my daughter and something really hard to deal with every night. That's why she had a lot of her friends spend the night here with her. That made it easier for her to sleep in her room at night. This room used to be my foster daughter's room. It used to have a wooden floor, but I just put carpet over it. The strange thing that happened in this room, when you were in it, you could hear the sound of cats meowing. But there'd be no cats in the room. This is my room. The first thing I noticed when I walked into this room for the first time is that beautiful big window overlooking that gorgeous backyard. I spent many hours here on the computer and watching TV and talking to my daughter and her friends, sometimes late into the night. I had also watched the children in the backyard playing and also listening to them on the couch watching TV, also late into the night. The spooky thing about this room is that the original owner passed away in this room. So I do share my bedroom with a ghost, but she's very nice. There's one more thing I want to tell you that happened to me in this room. One night about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I was sleeping. My bed used to be in front of the window with the foot of the bed facing the door. And I heard a voice of a woman ask me, "Are you okay?" And I realized that it was the voice of the woman who passed away in this room. She has such a sweet, kind voice. She must have been a very wonderful woman. And I consider it a privilege for her to share her home with me. And for that, I will always be thankful to her. Also, now that I think about it, the first night that I spent in this room, I went to go take a shower, and I came out of the shower, and my nightgown was put on the bed at the foot of it, and my sheets and bedspread were pulled back. The spirits in this house, how can I say it? They are very helpful and I guess have hospitality, is what I'm trying to say. I love this house, and I love the spirits in this house. The thing that sold the house for me was this shower. When I lived in the condo, we didn't have a walk-in shower that I could take a shower in. So when I saw this shower, I jumped into it and I said, "Sold!" I just was so excited about this shower. Off the kitchen is the old garage that was converted into a family room. Let's go take a closer look at it. This room was my daughter's party room. Her and her friends would come back here, and I'd close the door, and I would not hear any of the loud music or the TV set. And her parties would last sometimes deep into the night, sometimes early morning. They'd be up with their music and their TV set. I'm sure the neighbors next door just loved that. It was fun times, though. And what is so wonderful about this room is that it has its own separate entrance. It's right over here, which was great because then her friends didn't have to traipse through the house to get to this room. The downside of it is that I didn't know who was coming in and out, and so I'd have to come back here and do spot checks to see who was here. And of course, the downside of it also was, I'm so bad with my pronunciation, was at midnight, there was no boys allowed. And so I'd go through this room, through the house, and say, okay, all the boys have to go home. And then all the boys would leave, and they'd go right down the street and wait for me to go to bed. And then they would call my daughter, and she'd say, oh, it's called clear. Mom's in bed now. And they'd come back and sneak back through the house, or back to the house, or into the house through this door. The paneling in this room used to be white. My stepfather went and used a varnish to get it that beautiful brown. Also, the original owners used this room as a pool room, which was perfect. They'd put that pool table right in the middle of this room and entertain their friends as well. And I heard that from the original owner's daughter. Like I said through this video, this house has spirits. I haven't heard any voices back here or anything like that. I have felt a spooky presence back here from time to time. But no voices, nothing really strange going on back here, just a spooky presence. However, though, at night, this backyard is very spooky. You can see shadow figures out by the fence line. You can hear footsteps where there's nobody around to make them. You hear strange noises. We used to have a dog, and she would bark at things that were not here. That would make me very nervous. However, I knew that it was just the spirits in the backyard. Nothing more, nothing less. Here's a closer look at my beautiful half-an-acre backyard. The beautiful tall trees and the gorgeous green grass, and it's so quiet back here. Right here is where the rose bushes are. When I first saw this backyard, those rose bushes were blooming, and there was 2 more of them. My daughters and their friends played for hours in this backyard, and as they got bigger, they started having bonfires back here and other get-togethers. They had so much fun, and I could see them playing from my kitchen window, and I could even see the sunsets, like I said before, from my kitchen window. They would even, as they got older, they would try to sneak alcohol in, and I'd always catch them. Their job was to sneak it in. My job was to find it. We had so much fun here and so much entertaining in this backyard. This is the view of the back side of my house. Every once in a while at night, between the hours of 10 to 1 a.m., I would hear footsteps right outside my window. They wouldn't be normal footsteps. It'd sound like a really big creature or something like that. I'm not too sure. I was too scared to look out my window to see it. I just hoped it would go away. And I figure that it's just a spirit. I'm not too sure a spirit of what, but I knew it was a spirit. And so I just left it alone and didn't even bother it. There's a good view of the back patio where my daughter entertained most of her friends when she was a teenager. And I look over a little bit more, we might be able to see her old fire pit. There it is, that she used to put in the middle of the yard, and they'd put the chairs all around it. Also, sometimes at night, this hasn't happened to me for a long time, but it did happen to me once. When you go to lock the back door on the sun porch, you'll hear meowing like a cat meowing. And the thing is it doesn't sound like a cat meowing, it sounds like an old woman meowing like a cat. So that's interesting. Like I said, I heard it once, my daughter heard it a couple of times, and my son-in-law heard it a couple of times. Right here in front of the garage, about 7 to 8 years ago, my daughter would park her car here. And one night she didn't come home. She was staying at a friend's house. And I came out to take something to the garage. And right there in front of the garage was a shadow figure staring out towards the street, like and it was definitely a man, like he was looking for my daughter and her car. It was really surprising to see a shadow figure outside of my house. Also, that area over there is very creepy, especially at night. I don't go over there at night. I used to have my trash cans over there, and now I put them at the curb, so I don't go over there at all. It's really unsettling to know that there is something over there. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my beautiful home as much as I enjoyed showing her to you. I'm going to do a last panoramic view of my front yard. I just love the color yellow on this house. It's so cheery. Such a beautiful house. I love her so much. It was about 10 years ago. It was right after Halloween. The next morning I woke up and all of these stick trees were covered with toilet paper. The local kids decided that that's what needed to happen. They also toilet papered this big tree right here. I do not know how they were able to get the toilet paper to the top of this tree, but they did. They probably threw it up there. They were pretty good at doing that. Also, this palm tree in the backyard is 20 feet tall. I am so happy that it did not fall, because it doesn't matter which way it would go, it would have done some great damage to a lot of things. Also, a few months after I moved into this house, I was taking a picture of it, especially the third bedroom. And when I got the pictures back, I noticed that there was a woman standing in the window looking out towards the driveway and the road. She looked to be in her 40s. She had glasses on and short curly hair. I was surprised to see that, and I knew then that I had proof that this house is definitely haunted. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And any comments you have for me. And I shall have some other videos coming up for you soon. Bye-bye.